Hello. I literally just left client sessions, popping out to the grocery store. I have so much rolling around in my head. And I was like, oh, I think it's time to do a video. I'm also very, very tired. So here I am. You get me outside the grocery store, but I have sort of an energy update. It may be late to the game for many, but for some it might help create some context to the intensity and madness that is October. So we're going to just look at the full moon we just had on October 17th. And then I'm going to tell you sort of the bigger visual, the bigger picture of what's happening in the month of October. So the full moon that we just had on October 17th was a super full moon in Aries. Now, I'm not an astrologer, but I kind of get the astrology stuff when I dumb it down into layman's terms. So all of the planets that were attached to this full moon being in Aries was the Sun, the Moon, Pluto, Mars, and Chiron. The Sun, the ego, identity; the Moon, the unconscious, the shadow; Pluto, death, rebirth, transformation; Mars, war-like energy; Chiron, yes, the wounded healer, but Chiron is also very, very succinctly expressed as the inner child wound. So when you look at all of the tentacles that are all attached to that moon, there was a lot going on, and it was very intense for many. I viewed this from the other side as more of like a collective timeline shift. Pardon me, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. The reason I wanted to talk about this is because there's something I'm seeing in it that I didn't hear any of the astrologers, though I don't listen to many, talk about, and that is that the collective nodal axis, no, I say that word wrong every time, axis, A-X-I-S, that we are on as the collective journey is from Libra into Aries. So we are walking as a collective from Libran energy into more Aries-like energy. This started in July of 2023 and ends in January 2025. So what are we walking through as a collective? Well, Libran energy is more about harmony, about balance, which is beautiful. You'd think, why are we walking away from that? Because from a shadow perspective, it is about harmony and balance at all and any cost, which means it's about compliance. It's about not rocking the boat. It's about just doing whatever we've got to do to keep the peace and just get along. And that is most certainly not an energy that is serving us at this point in the ascension. What is the Aries-like energy more about? It's more about individualism. It is about bravery. It is about courage. It is about being bold. It is about owning your presence as an individual in the world. So we're going from this sort of kumbaya, we'll all stay asleep and just be harmonically in like harmony with one another, but in a sleepy shadow, this isn't really working kind of way in the Libran space, into this, everybody's going to have to start moving into more sovereign-like characteristics, taking responsibility, making bold moves, really owning their individual essence here on the planet as a part of one of the collective. So with this nodal axis shift coming up for expiration in January of 2025, it means that this moon really was kind of like clearing out some stuff for a lot of people around where are you still holding on to. Don't rock the boat, stay in harmony, be with the collective. How do I fit in? What is the accepted narrative? All of that kind of stuff. And then bumping that around against, okay, where does this fit in with my inner child wounding? Where does this fit in my death and rebirth process? Where does this fit in around my sun, the identity, my moon, my unconscious beliefs about myself? All of that all got uprooted for everyone. So what I'm seeing now is we are like as a collective sort of suspended in time, outside of time. The visual is like there's the 3D matrix and the people that run the matrix, and they're here scrambling and like throwing their fishing hooks out to anything and anyone they can get some attention and some energy from. And then we're sort of suspended in this net, all of the awakened, the light workers, whatever label you want to use. And then above us, it's that analogy that I've used in other videos where like God is playing cups. The higher consciousness, the higher self collective, God consciousness, our teams are all sort of having meetings with us and with each other. And like in this suspended net that we're in is going like, okay, you have to deepen into your awakening more. You know, you're going to have a session with so-and-so, or there's going to be this kind of thing that's going to happen for you that's going to call you into a more deepening of your path. You've got this debris all over you. Let's just give you a shake and get that off, because we don't have time for you to sit another couple of years in this same theme. You over here, you're integrating an upgrade. You're going to need to sleep. You know, it's like that. So it's like each and every one of us is all being sort of reevaluated. And a part of that is that there are massive role changes that are coming that will probably not show themselves until 2025. What do I mean by role changes? So going forward into the creation of New Earth, there are going to be like fifth dimensional humans that are the builders and the leaders of the New Earth. This is the awakened community in various ways, shapes, and forms. And then there are also going to be sort of the spiritual elders. And there is no hierarchy. The word elder makes it sound like there's somebody more important, and they're not. But there will be sort of the elders of who are sort of the guardians of the energetics, the liaisons between here and the other side of the veil, the wisdom keepers, the oracle, any of the third dimensional words that I come up with are going to create a context in somebody's mind. So if we want to look at it, the only thing I can really do with any kind of integrity is give you an example, is that as one of the original soul tribe members that seeded the planet, which is my soul's origin, I am an elder. But I've been walking myself back into remembrance of who I am and reclaiming the parts of myself throughout my journey, while Sheila has also been a way shower, light worker, and a coach. So at some point, I will be extricated from this part of the journey as this part of the role, and new people that have been perhaps my clients, perhaps people I've never met, that are going to then become the new coaches, way showers, light workers, and leaders for those that are coming underneath them. So there's all kinds of role changes that are starting to take place, but it's invisible. It happens in the body. It happens in these meetings that we have with our team. It happens during sleep time. If you find that you dream, but now all of a sudden you're not dreaming, it's likely because you are going into meetings and getting intel and instructions for the new role you're going to play, but your human isn't ready for that information yet. So when I say that this is it's all taking place right now, God's playing cups, people's roles are changing, people are being called deeper into their spiritual path, people are getting a little shakedown on stuff that just keeps sticking to them and we got to get that off of them kind of thing. That's all happening in preparation for where we are going into in 2025, which actually starts November 18th. The energetic new year is always sort of 3/4 of the way through in November. And this year, 2025, is also a new epoch. So there is a lot that is going on. The control structures that are the matrix are scrambling. There's lots of distraction. There is lots of overwhelm because of the amount of information and stimuli that is available right now, and the energies are fast, and we are becoming more quantum and learning how to navigate the all that is from that center point that we step out of in every now moment. There's a lot going on. So surrender into it. Do not try to figure it out. If you are feeling that you are being called to deepen into your spiritual practice, possibly for reasons you don't even know, and when I say spiritual practice, I don't mean how many crystals do you own and how often do you meditate, but really called into the depths of the deeper work. I am still doing one-on-one sessions. I am showing up in my Facebook group almost daily with updates and teachings and things like that. I'm just making more room because I've always known that this role change would be a part of my path. So I'm just consciously dancing with, how can I show up? How can I continue to contribute while at the same time creating a little bit of room for who I'm becoming to still have room to be expressed and installed and all of those words. So that is the update of sort of what came through with that moon. It was collective and personal because of all those tentacles. What I'm seeing right now is sort of the 3D is scrambling, dismantling, and trying to throw their hooks. We are in a basket that our higher selves and our teams are meeting with us and with each other to help facilitate all of these role changes. And for some, it might be the dissolution of relationships, marriages. It might be the role you play in your nuclear family. It could be a job change. The whole theme is about roles. How do we move people into the timeline that is most appropriate for what is next for them? I hope that this helps. You know where to find me, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.